Hello and welcome back to this here video on entrances. So this is actually part of a series of videos. It wasn't planned on being a series, but then it took me so long to make the last one that I thought I might as well just do a series. So this is about conducting. Patterns, entrances, cutoffs, dynamics, and interpretation. This particular video will cover at least entrances and cutoffs, and we'll see where I'm at, and we might do dynamics and interpretation in it as well. A lot of this in the classroom is going to rely on students conducting each other. So that's why I don't know if we're going to do that here, because it's a little funny. You know, you can't conduct your computer and have me, not at least now with the technology as of April 3rd, 2026, you can't conduct your computer and have me respond to it. So, you know, this can just fill in some of the gaps if you missed a class, or if you are just watching this because you found it on YouTube. First of all, welcome. Look, our school is really cool. You should enroll your kid or yourself here. Yeah, if you're part of my class, you can just use this to fill in some of the gaps. Okay. So, so we went over beats. Okay, and if you want to practice your beats, you can, and I mean your conducting patterns, not your cool trap beats. You get your 1, 2. There's your 2, your 3 goes off to the side a little bit. 3, 1, 2, 3, and your 4 goes across your body, then outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. We talked about the ictus. It's like a little hot stove that you tap. And we talked about all those different things. But today, it's time for entrances. Okay, because you, as a conductor, can wave your hands around all you want. But if you haven't gotten your choir to start singing or your music ensemble to start playing, then what are you even doing, right? Okay. Now, this is very choral based because I'm a choral conductor, but I also conduct instruments and pit orchestras and stuff. And let me tell you, like, most of these things are exactly the same. Some of the differences between choral conducting and orchestral conducting, I mean, there are many, and probably depending on who you talk to and how snobby they are, you'll get a lot of different answers. One of the main things is that choral conductors usually just use their hand. Orchestral conductors usually use a baton. Now, you astute watchers may know this is a pen. And honestly, sometimes I'll reach for whatever I can get. But a bâton, which is a stick, right? That's French for stick, I believe. I was looking behind me because I have one somewhere, and I rarely use it. You know, if I'm working with a big group, so a baton is great for when you're working with a really big group. It's really great if you need some. It's like the color needs to be distinguished. But choral conductors usually just use our hands. Or if you need to grab a pencil or something like that, but we usually just use our hands. That's one difference. That's not what the point of this video is supposed to be. Another difference between choral conducting and orchestral conducting. It's a lot more parts to enter in an orchestra. Choir, usually you have like 4 parts that need entrances. Sometimes if it's particularly crazy, like double choir Renaissance piece, you have like 12, but usually not that. So there's fewer parts to enter in a choir, and usually choirs are a little bit more like loosey-goosey. I think often orchestra members will tell you that about when a choir conductor comes. They're like, get ready to not really know where the beat is. Because sometimes choir conductors will just conduct the words or the vibes of it. I tend to stick with the beat a little bit more. But sometimes I will fully admit choir conductors don't really show where the beat is. They just kind of a lot of that, right? So those are some of the differences. I'm going to give you some of the more, like, this is more applicable to a lot of different things because I tend to be a little bit more conservative, I think, in my conducting. Anyway, so here's some things, some basics, okay? The breath. The breath is the most important part of conducting. Let me say that again. The breath is the most important part of the conducting. Your patterns can be kind of, I mean, they should be good, but they're not as important as when you breathe, okay? Especially for singers, but I think when I'm working with an instrumental ensemble, and you can watch, like, think of a string quartet. No one's conducting that group, right? But they stay together, partly because they breathe together. That is so important. The breath is so important, okay? Functionally, then, you breathe in with your group on the beat before they start singing. Or if they're singing on an offbeat kind of thing, you adjust. But effectively, you breathe with your choir before they're supposed to start singing. You want to take a breath on the beat before you want everyone to sing. Okay, so if everyone's coming on beat 1, now I've got a pattern of 4. 1, 2, 3, ba. Okay. Or if they're coming on beat 3, 1, 2, I screwed up. 1, ba, etc. Okay, so it's make it look easy. It takes some practice to anticipate those kinds of things. Breathing on an upbeat on like a beat 4 is really easy. Breathing on beat 2 and then coming on beat 3, it's a little bit trickier, as you saw when I messed up. All right, eye contact is great for doing these kinds of things so that you really know that your choir is paying attention. If people are looking down, they're going to be guessing. If they're looking up at you and if you're looking at them, that's really helpful. All right, so we're going to try it. I've got 4 examples here. Let me move some stuff around so you can see me and this thing at the same time. Let's see if this will work. All right, this is the stuff. Okay, and this is it right here. All right, so we've got 4 examples here, right? We've got beat 1 where we start on beat 1. I want to start on beat yeah, we'll start on beat 1. Okay, so Z, all right, so if I'm looking at beat 1 right now, meaning example number 1, and I want to be the choir to be entering on beat 1, that means we're going to have to breathe in on beat 4. So if I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, this is where we breathe and then we sing. Okay. So make eye contact. 1, 2. Sorry, I was thinking of entering. My apologies. Okay, so here we've got an example of 4 different places where we could potentially breathe, sing, and then I kind of have like a pickup, but having a 4-beat pickup is a little weird. That's okay. Remember that we're going to breathe on our upbeat immediately before we sing. Okay, so that means for the beat 1 note, we're going to be breathing on beat 4 of the previous measure. So I suggest we give a full measure and then we come in. So 1, 2, 3, Z, ah. Try again. 1, 2, 3, Z, ah. Right. If I haven't, let's skip down here now. Okay. Now an entrance on beat 4. Okay, entrance on beat 4. That means we're breathing on beat 3. We're taking a breath on beat 3. So I go 1, 2, breathe, Z, ah. Okay, let's try that. 1, 2, Z, ah. Do it again. 1, 2, Z, ah. Sorry, when I was making eye contact with you, I made eye contact with me in a little box on that monitor. Let's try it again. 1, 2, Z, ah. Okay. Beat 3 entrance means we need to breathe on beat 2. Just think of a breath before your note, okay? 1, Z, ah. So again, so you don't get that time to think. I'll do 4 beats and then we'll come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, Z, ah. Okay, beat 2. Again, I'll go a full measure and then we'll breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, Z, ah. Now you'll notice, right? I'm gonna get full size camera here, that when we breathe, it's like I'm doing another upbeat with my gesture hand, okay, with my beating hand. Right, so this is the hand that remember, I'm left-handed, so I'm using my left hand. If you are right-handed, use your right hand. But a breath is like an upbeat. Right, so even if I go 1, 2, 3, Z, sorry, 1, 2, Z, you know, it's a little bit because that beat 3 already is coming up. Right, 1, 2, 3, za. That's easy. Where it gets a little bit funny is like a beat 2 entrance. I kind of have my beat 1 turns into a breath. But this does not really signal breath. This signals breath, upward movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Z. So you see that? My beat 1 basically turned into a beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, Z. Then you're gonna kind of slide back into your normal thing. You get to go at these just by practicing. Okay, let's do the number 3 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, Z. So I still did a gesture across my body for beat 2, but it was higher, way higher than normal, right? Normally my 2 is down here somewhere. 1, 2, 1, Z. Sometimes I use 2 hands to signal an entrance, but sometimes it's just 1. You know, it all depends. Okay. So practice those. Right? Practice these guys. Their entrances are tricky when you first get started. Okay, but with some practice, you'll be just fine. Cutoffs. Okay. Cutoffs are the second thing. Classic. You know, just starting as a conductor cutoff is like, right? And sometimes we see that, especially in movies, like za. This just clenching your hands together on the beat, it sends a signal of like shush. You know, it kind of gives that shush. Stop it. Stop singing, right? We don't want that. It's not a good vibe for your singers. The other thing about this is there's no prep for that. When is this gonna happen? I don't have any idea, right? I don't know. It just happens. So when we do a cutoff, at least the way that I like to do a cutoff, and there's a lot of ways you can do these kinds of things, is I prep the beat almost like it's an entrance. Right? Especially the easiest cutoffs are the ones that are held. The hardest ones are when you're conducting a different group and your other, you know, I've got my sopranos over here and my altos over here, and they're all singing together, za, but only one group is supposed to keep going, right? So there's a couple different ways you can do it. One way, palm down. You can use your palm down as a cutoff. Okay, so that's when I've got lots of stuff going on. Palm down over here, palm up for this side to keep them going. Eye contact is very important, right? That if that I want to hold this one, I look at it, stop, you know, whoop, da, they're still going over here. That's one thing. An easy cutoff, everyone's holding together. It's almost like another little pickup. It's almost like a breath, but we're stopping. That's really helpful too if sometimes you have a cutoff that is a breath for the next thing, right? Za, da, za, za. So see, I'm like picking up a little baby or something like that, right? But it's a little bit of a float. I like this lift because it helps us float the sound away. Ya. Also, by doing kind of a prep for it, it helps the choir know exactly where that cutoff is supposed to be. Za. The more your choir does this stuff with you too, the more that they'll start to predict what you're gonna do, right? When you do these things, hopefully not predict it too well, because you want za. You want to know when that cutoff is gonna be. You want to know, they want to know, but you won't want them to guess, because if they're guessing, then they're no group of 30 people is gonna guess the same thing exactly right at the exact same time. So you want them to know what you're gonna do. Okay, so. That is the basics of a cutoff. All right, so we're gonna try it. Hold an on note for as long as you like, then give a clear cutoff. All right, so I just pulled these guys up again because they're easy to use, right? So we're gonna do we'll do the first one. No, let's do beat 4. We had the bottom one. So 1, 2, Z. Ah. So I've got my palm up. I'm holding this note. Ah. A little bit of a gesture down and a bounce up to let us go. And sometimes you'll see conductors get like really into it. You know, a little flourish, a little showmanship. That's not always bad. Other thing I like about this and this prep gesture is sometimes your choir, and especially if you encourage it, if you would make that big, if you can gesture like we're getting bigger before our cutoff versus I went small, right, and made it stuff. Now that's stuff for the next video about expression in your conducting. But those are honestly the basics, okay, of our entrances and our cutoff. Right, little flower, little like a little you know, you send it off. So you got a little guy in a boat and whew, you send it off into the distance. Again, that's for held notes. Harder is when you have to cut off one group while you're holding another group or doing entrances and cutoffs. That's way more advanced. That's like college level. I don't mean college level singing. It's like college level conducting. For right now, if you know how to do these things, you're gonna be in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna stop that video right here because this one again is pretty long. Next video will be about expression, text analysis, that kind of thing, and how you incorporate those into your conducting. All right, thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.